Alright, first off, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Kodash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Shalom to the brothers in the highways and byways pushing this word now, sincerity and truth. The sisters, the believers, the helps, the hopeful elect. Shalom. This is the brother Aaron from the Mr. Minka camp. Coming to another quick lesson. And the inspiration of this lesson is pretty much coming from this book I'm reading. Sometimes you win, sometimes you fail. And as I was reading, there are a lot of aspects of the ministry and of the truth that I've been filtering you know this book um, through the scriptures. Some meat, some bones, but there are a lot of you know there are a lot of things that we can see, or apply as it pertains to the scriptures. Now, one of the main things that brothers tend to struggle with is the consistency when it comes on to lessons, myself included. But the more I self-examine, the more I look into things, and I look at it, I see that one, it's a lack of discipline, and two, it's just being a bit too complacent, you know and sometimes, well, the scripture says to be instant in season and out of season. Scripture also says, abide in me and I in you. And yeah, we're in Babylon, and you know there are a lot of things grabbing our attention. There's a lot of things that you know you may have, whether it be your family, whether it be your job, whether it be money, whatever the case may be. you know there are things that tend to make quote unquote finding time to do a lesson. It seems to come at an inopportune time, so to speak. But guess what? And that's not something that we should that's not a spirit that we should be entertaining. Most times when I talk to brothers, like, brothers will say, hey, as soon as I take up the scriptures to read, that sleep demon wants to come on. The moment I decide that, look, I want to go and do a lesson, that, oh, let's do this tomorrow, demon come on. And it's all about what, oh, maybe I'm too tired now, or oh no, I'm not in the right place, or there's too much noise around me. Go somewhere else. Step outside, whatever the case may be. Just do what you got to do. All right. And I'm just gonna read a few points from this book, and then I'm gonna hit some scriptures. Hopefully, this is edifying. And definitely this is going for myself first and foremost. All right. So this is what page? Some page. I don't want to mess it up right now, so I'll just read this part right here. Right, it says, the highlighted portion says, maturity is doing what you are supposed to be doing when you're supposed to do it, no matter how you feel. And that's the thing, you know to an extent. It's, because I'm not going to play don't play like, we in catching hell, or brothers ain't tired, or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, what are we going to tell you? How was shy? Oh, I was a bit too tired. Oh, my kids was in my ear. Oh, my my woman was in the ear. Oh, I'm just in the mindset. And don't get me wrong, I know that there are times when the spirit isn't on you, so to speak, or it's from a standpoint of where you don't want to force it. And a lesson isn't there, and you don't want to force it from a playing a numbers game by, oh, I got to do a video every day, so even if it's not edifying, or if it's just to make up numbers. No, not saying that, but at the end of the day, you know we should have that mentality to push, regardless. There are a lot of times when I start out, I let spirit jump on, oh, maybe you can read tomorrow. And that moment when I read, that's when I get something from the scriptures. Or, I want to do a lesson tonight, and then, you say, no, do it tomorrow. And then when you're doing the lesson, in the midst of you doing a lesson, you see something, as you're going through, and you're like, oh, there's a follow-up lesson, or here's something else I can do a lesson on. And at first it wasn't there, but when you overcome that feeling, you get to do what you need to do. And it's going to be the same thing, in the times to come. There are going to be temptations in the time to come that are going to feel comfortable, or look as if this is the better option, or I don't want to lose this, or it's we're gonna make some we're gonna have to make some not so convenient choices as it pertains to the flesh. So if we can, if we should, right now we're actually practicing through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, you know so these things are tests, these things are trial. It may seem as something simple, but it's something that we should be striving towards, because there's these simple little things that we're battling on a day-to-day basis, without catching any form of like real health, so to speak. Our lives are not at stake at this very moment in time. If at these challenges we aren't able to tap into the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai, which definitely comes through prayer, definitely comes through fasting, definitely not of ourselves, but through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai, pushing through and conquering, having that belief that Yahweh Shem Shai is dealing with us, and having that, as our elder apostle Raka put it, you know, having faith in yourself, knowing that Yahweh Shem Shai is dealing with you, therefore you're doing everything through Yahweh Shem Shai, to overcome anything. The faith without the works without the faith, you can't have the works without the faith. It has to, if you cannot have the faith without the works, lakia. It says, what I show my faith through my works. you know so it's not so much of the works, but we should be showing our faith, and a part of it is actually pushing these lessons, do regardless of how we feel, regardless of us, not quote unquote not in the mood, which that shouldn't be a case where every day you're not in the mood, so to speak, because at times I get it. you know we fall short, and as I said, we're catching hell. you know so it's not like I'm saying that, oh yeah, just, but at the same time, we have to fight it off. You know, we have to just fight that spirit. And no excuses, regardless of whatever it is. All right, I do this lesson and then I get some rest. I go do this lesson and then get back to it. All right, everybody's acting up right now, or this is happening right now. All right, here, putting that to the side, do this lesson, then we come back to this. You know, whatever the case may be. So I'll read this again. It says, maturity is doing what you are supposed to do. You're supposed to be doing Salakia when you're supposed to be doing it, no matter how you feel. The key to success is action, and that is it. We are here working. This is the work of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. So action is required. Does it not say in Peter, well, give all diligence to make your calling and election sure? It requires action. This truth requires action. And a part of this action, is teaching this doctrine, pushing the word out. A part of, as well as applying the scriptures to the best of your ability. Right? Gonna jump down a bit, right, where it says 3. I'm gonna go to the second highlighted part. It says, by encouraging the right, um, no, I don't want to go there, because I want to make this short. It is good, but not, it's not really speaking directly to the point that I'm pushing here. Maybe at another time, the Lord will put the Spirit on me to do, another lesson concerning that part. But let me just check something here. Right. So it says, at the top right here, it says, because to succeed, it's pretty much following a particular line, but this part is good. It says, because to succeed at the high level, at that high level, you can't, it's making reference to an Olympic skater, right? Because to succeed at that high level, you can't allow a challenge to get you off track. You need to cultivate the habit of executing and following through. And that is it. We cannot, it cannot be a case where these trivial things, compared to what the kingdom has to offer, is throwing us off. These trivial things. Oh, oh, I'm extra tired, so I can't do a lesson. Oh, this is happening, so I can't do this. Oh, I can't do that. And even it even speaks into even, you know, turning to the Lord as well, in regards to, like, you go off and you're like, oh no, I can't go to the Lord, or you should, developing spiritual habits, like, reproving, if you need to speak to a brother, oh no, I'm not going to talk to a brother, let somebody else do it, or I'm just going to wait it out, or you know things like that, saying what's on your mind, communicating. Or every time I talk, you know it goes wrong, being afraid to fail, that's another thing as well, because doing these lessons and applying these scriptures, it requires action. And you know some of the times in certain areas we shy away from the action because we because of the outcome, we're afraid of the results, or whatever the case may be. Some brothers get disheartened because they don't get a lot of views, which, you're doing this for the Lord, that shouldn't matter. Some brothers get disheartened because, they feel like, they're not being heard, and instead of, trying to get better at communicating, or, finding a way how to apply the scriptures to a situation where you feel like you're being wrong, they shy away from it, you know and they, oh, I don't feel like it, I'm going to wait on the best time. And it's the same thing with lessons as well. I'm going to wait until the best time. you know what if my best time don't come? What are you going to say? Yahweh Shai, I was waiting on the best time. It don't work like that, right? So I'll read it again. It says, to because to succeed at that high level, you can't allow a challenge to get you off track. You need to cultivate the habit of executing and following through. It says, if we want to gain the value of learning, we need to be in the habit of executing at a higher level. Rain or shine, success or failure, setback or breakthrough. And that is it. Regardless of the situation we should be putting through, we should be doing what is required of us, you know, by Yahweh Shem Shai. Remember, we're working towards perfection. Yahweh Shem Shai demands perfection, and it brings us through the hot, it brings us through the cold. Sometimes the Lord hand is heavy on us, sometimes it's light on us. Sometimes the Lord give us a break, sometimes the Lord throw us hell. It's all going through a cycle, and regardless of whatever cycle we're in, we're still expected to be in action. We're still expected to be performing, regardless of what it is, the situation is, because that is what's showing our devotion to Yahweh Shem Shai. That's showing our endurance. That's showing our strength. That's showing our faith. That is how the faith through works come into play. All right. So I'm gonna get to a few precepts right now. Well, let me get this one. Oh, not here. This is Ecclesiasticus, or the book of Sirach, chapter 5, verse 7. It says, "Make no tarry to turn to Yahweh, and put not off from day to day, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed, and perish in the day of vengeance." Exactly. That opportune day, that right time that we tend to keep waiting for. That's the security that you don't want to be caught up in. You don't want to try, oh, tomorrow I'll do the lesson, or tomorrow I'll read, or tomorrow I'll pray, or tomorrow I'll fast, or tomorrow I'll attend to this, or tomorrow, that's also leading to what, procrastination. Because that's one of the things with procrastination. It's always, in most cases, it's about waiting for the right time, hoping for the perfect conditions, and all the stars align, and everything is just peachy perfect, which 90% of it, well, most of the times it's not. But we're still required to push through and go through. Hey, even at Esau's job, right? You have days when you're sick as hell, but you got no vacation day, you got no sick days, and you need that bread so that you can get to handle your affairs, and you just gotta go, and you're still expected to perform. You're still expected to execute. You're still expected to get the work done. You know. Now, am I saying that you take it out of balance and literally die out there, so to speak? Brothers know what I'm saying. No, I'm not saying that. Not saying that to be righteous over much, where it's a situation where it's definitely you need to sit one out. But at the same time, the mindset should be there. The mindset should be there, and the level of diligence, the level of wanting to do it regardless, and doing it regardless of how we feel, you know, because if we should rely on how we feel. As a matter of fact, I think part of it says that. Um, Let me see if I can find that part. It's talk about waiting and feeling our way into things. Just bear with me real quickly. Right, it says up at the top right here. It says, "Too often we want to feel our way into acting, when instead we need to act our way into feeling." So if you're waiting to feel for the Spirit to read, how about you just take up the book and start reading until and start doing until you get in the motion to, and that's what happens most of the time. At first you were like, oh no, I'm tired, or oh no, this can't work, or oh no, tomorrow, but you're like, you know what, I'm gonna do it anyway. And by the time you get started, you're on fire. You start to warm up, and you're all in. So all you need to do is just to get started. All right. It says, too often we want to feel our way into action, when instead we need to act our way into feeling. If we do the right thing, we will eventually feel the right feelings. You know, and that's definitely true. So we don't want to tarry turning to the Lord. We don't want to put off from day to day, searching and waiting for the feeling and waiting for the right time. It's just to get it done when it's time to get it done. You know, everybody have a different system based on their circumstances or whatever, but just get it done, regardless of what's happening, and how you may feel in that moment and time. All right, gonna get my next precept. This is 2 Timothy 4, and I'll start at verse I'll start at verse 2. It says, "Preach the word, be instant in season and out of season. Reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine." All right. So let's look on the word preach right here. I'm just gonna go through a few words quickly. Preach.
Strong's G 2784. Keruso. Keruso.
Right. So to herald, to officiate as an herald, to proclaim after the manner of an herald, right? To publish, proclaim openly something which has been done, right? Which is pretty much bringing out the scriptures, right? The third definition says, use of the public proclamation of the gospel and matters pertaining to it, i.e., teaching the word, right? Made by John the Baptist, by Yahushua, by the apostles and other Christian teachers, which we know Christians is referring to are, the believers, those who were actually followers of Yahushua, right? So it says, preach the word, be instant. Let's look on the word be instant, right? To stand by, be present, right? Place oneself, to stand for one. C says to be at hand, be ready. And if we jump down here in the Thayer's Greek lexicon and go down to the end, it says what? To be at hand, impend of time. To be at hand, i.e., be ready. And the references give what? 2 Timothy 4, verse 2, which is what we're currently reading, right? So we should be ready. We should be ready in season and out of season. Now let's look on in season, right? Seasonable, opportunely, when the opportunity occurs. Yeah, so it's because there are times when you can be like, hey, you know what? That was the best time to do a lesson, and there are no distractions, nothing around, and everything is peachy, and you can get it done, and you get it done. Fine, right? So that's being in season. But let's look on out of season, which is pretty much the opposite, unseasonable, right? Inopportunely, meaning what? There's a inconvenience, so to speak. There's an obstacle, there's a challenge. There's something just it's not really the best time. But guess what? It's always the best time for you. How wash your or shy, So it may not be a best time for the world, but it's the best time to get done, because guess what? It's time to get this done. Just like, with going out on the highways and on the edges, that Saturday, between X time and Y time, it's time for camp. Hands down, no questions asked. Regardless of anything else that's going on, it's time to hit the camp, and that's just that. And it's the same thing with the lessons. You set a time for your lessons, or you realize that, hey, I need to get my lessons done, or whatever the case is. And there's a lot of, it's inopportunely, or it's an inopportune time. Well, guess what? Regardless, this work has to get done. You just get it done, right? That's what we should be doing. That's the mindset that we should have. All right. Um, Reprove, rebuke, exhort. Which is what we do with the scriptures, with all long suffering. Let's look on the word long suffering. Right? Patience, endurance, constancy, steadfastness, perseverance. Why are these words being used? Because there are times when it requires some endurance. It requires to be in inconvenience, so to speak, or there's a challenge, or there's an affliction that you just need to bear. Things are are rough, so to speak, but you do it anyway, right? And that word constancy is a very important word, which goes back to what consistency, or or being constant, or being steadfast, right? Always present, right? Here what it says, especially showing in bearing troubles and ills, you know. So yeah, things come up, It says long suffering and doctrine, right? Teaching that which is taught, doctrine. 2a says, in religious assemblies of the Christians to speak in the way of teaching, in distinction from other modes of speaking in public. So yeah, just pretty much, staying in the doctrine of Yahweh Shem Shai. So that is how we should be operating, and that's the mindset that we should be having, and that's the mindset that we should praying for. We should praying for. Once again, for myself first and foremost. We can't be waiting to feel this and feel that. We should be instant in season and out of season. You know, we shouldn't be feeling our way into acting. We should be acting our way into feeling. And it goes on so many levels, because when you're just learning something new, or when you're just doing something, at first you feel like you're not getting it, but you push through, and then eventually it comes second nature to it, where to the point where it's so ingrained in you, where it doesn't even feel like a struggle anymore. It just becomes a habit, a natural habit, something that you just do without thinking. You just know that it's supposed to get done. Thinking about when you just came into the truth, and you realize, oh, we're not supposed to do this, we're not supposed to do that. There were certain temptations that we would have back then, and after a while of just getting the spirit through Yahweh Shem Shai, we overcame those things. And even now, now we don't want to see it, we don't want to hear it. We just, to the point where sometimes it doesn't even affect us. There's no temptation regarding it. You just go through. All right. But yeah, we just wanted to make that point. Hopefully this was edifying. Once more, to give all praises and honor and glory unto Yahweh Shem Shai Bashem Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Shalom to the brothers in the highways and byways pushing this word in all sincerity and truth. The sisters, the believers, the helps, the hopeful elect. Shalom.